What is that?
It's our gang sign.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
It looks sexual. Nope. Friend zone! Live from the friend zone.
My name's Tamara Chambers.
And I'm Chris Cody Melcher.
And this is Tamara Just Saw.
And Cody also just saw 2 as well. Despicably. Waka waka.
We just saw Despicable Me 3.
Yes, Despicable Me 3.
Despicable Me 3. I've only seen Despicable Me 1, as they call it.
Despicable Me, A New Hope.
I didn't see the second one, but I really loved the first. Thought it was adorable. This was your first dip in the Despicable pool.
Yeah, I hadn't gotten around to seeing either of the first 2 or the Minions movie. I've seen a lot of Minions toys at truck stops while traveling across this great nation that we call America. I read the synopses of the last few movies, and I feel like that's enough.
I thought it was a gosh dang blast. It was adorable.
I agree without the exact same terminology.
You wouldn't phrase it gosh dang blast?
No, I would say golly gee whiz hoedown.
Okay, alright. Well, we are completely different people.
I'm a little bit country. She's a little bit rock and roll. We are the Donnie and Marie of Channel Awesome.
Yeah, for sure. It was so cute. I thought, I said this in the car, but I think it captured the ability that they showed, at least in the first one, to be adorable. Like, to the point where I wanted to cry, not because of sadness, but just because of cuteness. And it was so sweet, but also really cute jokes, funny things. A couple things fell flat, but like as a whole, I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah, I will co-sign, seal, and deliver that. It was really adorable. There were several times where it was cute, and I was like, aw, and then I laughed. And that's pretty much what she just said, but I said it in a different way. I laughed really hard, too hard, at the cheese grating slide that was in the festival. Mm-hmm. And you have no idea what that is if you haven't seen the movie, but if you have seen the movie, you're disappointed in me.
Yeah, I thought some of their imagery was really, like, creative, and some of it was gross, but most of it was just, like, fun, kid-friendly.
Yeah. It was a
cute, creative. I always like this is the second time I've seen a Despicable Me movie. But every time. I love their use of secret agent utensils that they use, and the car in this one was really great. And I loved the villain in this. I thought he was really great.
Yeah, he was fun. He was kind of like a flamboyant Star-Lord. Kinda. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That, like, when he had his little 8-track player, I was like, oh, okay.
All of his things are 80s themed, and he was hilarious.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I mean, we talk about this a lot with kids' movies. We're judging them based off what they are. You know, I didn't go into this going like, all right, is this going to be like The Godfather? You know, am I going to be challenged by this movie? It was like, is it better or worse than what it should be, or like expectation? And yeah. I think this is slightly above what I expected / good for what it should be. I don't think it blew me away in terms of being like at the height of what it could be. Like Captain Underpants, I think was actually really enjoyable and surprisingly so. And then we've seen some worse versions of that, Boss Baby. But I think this was a good. I'm sorry, I have a cold.
But it was the third movie, so that's pretty sweet. Like,
it was a good 3.
It was a really good 3.
Right? Yeah. I mean, it wasn't Guardians of the Galaxy 2, but it was definitely better than a lot of the third movies of a lot of trilogies we could talk about. Spider-Man. But I'm sorry, that cold really is getting me.
I think for a third animated film that's not. Well, I guess, I mean, it's a giant franchise, I guess. I shouldn't say that.
Yeah, some might say overwhelming franchise.
I mean, I watched Despicable Me the first.
The first of his name. Despicable Me, first of his name.
I watched it like way after it came out, and I think on a plane or something. And I was really expecting it to not be fun or creative at all, because people were so upset about the Minion hype. Like, people got too into Minions, like to the point where it's like aggressive. And so
I like the phrasing, the Minion hype, which is true.
That Minion hype, duh. But so I was expecting it to be a annoyed by the Minions. And like I left watching the film thinking like, I'm a little embarrassed, but I like the Minions kind of a lot. Like, I'm not going to tell anyone, the internet, but I do think that they're funny. And so, like, the first film was way better than I thought it was going to be. And this, I think they were able to still capture a lot of what was good in the first. You were right, though. I think the story is lacking a bit, but not, it's like, it's not a whole, it's not a strong whole, but it's got a lot of really great, like, parts to it.
There were times where I personally got uncomfortable when one character is such a screw up that I start getting like on like the edge. I'm like, oh God, why is this happening? Like, that's why, again, save your faxes. That's why I had a really hard time watching SpongeBob SquarePants, because I watched the only episode I ever watched of that show was the one where he had to take care of Mr. Krabs' house and he like ruins everything. And I'm like a child just like ripping my hair out like, what is happening? And it was very similar in the heist part of this movie with Gru's brother, where I was just like, just go back to the car. I just can't. Can't.
That's so Cody of you. I'm sorry.
Get back in the car.
I do still think that you should watch another episode of SpongeBob.
Yeah, I know. Everybody says that, and I'm working on it.
Ready?
Yeah.
I love SpongeBob.
What?
Also, have you guys seen Silver Fox, Steve Carell? Because damn, he can get it.
Anderson Cooper, Steve Carell.
Hello,
it's when they fusion dance.
Hi.
Steve Carell and okay.
Hello. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Go right ahead. Sure.
Permanent visitor.
I love Kristen Wiig. She was great. I didn't know that Miranda Cosgrove played Edith. Is that her name?
The older one?
I think the youngest.
No, the youngest is Agnes.
Oh, Agnes. Maybe she was Agnes. She was one of them. I'm not sure.
Guess what? All right, under one of these girls, we have Miranda Cosgrove.
I think whereas like Cars 3 had to do some major redeeming for me to get back on board with Cars.
Yeah.
Because 2 is, in my opinion, the worst, both of our opinions, the worst Pixar film of all time. So where Cars 3 excelled so much in story, I think that I've heard great things about Despicable Me 2. And so I'm interested to see if it was like in the same vein of 1, if it was just as good as 1, which I feel like would be hard to do because I think it was really great. But I'm interested to see, because we were talking about like comparing Cars in the car, or comparing Cars and Despicable Me, so they both have 3 movies, and I just wonder, I wonder how it lives up. It's interesting to. For me to compare like animated films, anything against Pixar, Pixar always wins in my mind. And I still think, well, I don't know. I was going to say I think I'd prefer Cars to this, but I really like these movies. I
don't know if I really want to watch the Minions movie. I might, just because I hate myself enough. But but yeah, the Minions in this were fine. I thought it was weird that they kept dropping into Italian every once in a while. That was interesting. Like they would mix in a lot of different foreign languages. You could hear them every once in a while, like there's some Spanish every once in a while and stuff like that. But it was very, very Italian. Like they say "ciao bello" a lot. They said "ciao" a lot. They
also like kept dropping random phrases just from like movies. Like they said "yippee ki yay." That was really funny.
Yeah,
that made me laugh out loud.
Comment below if you know what the Italian tie-in is.
Origin of the Minions.
Yeah, I want to know those. I want to know where that Italian tie-in is.
Another one, we've been saying this with a couple of the animated movies we've seen, but it's better than what you might think it would be going into it. It's like a Trolls, or it's like a Smurfs. Thank you. Yeah, and
New Smurfs.
New Smurfs, right? And it's fun. I would definitely recommend seeing it. I give it 7.5 yippee ki yays out of 10 mother.
I don't know if we're allowed to do that rating on this channel. I'll give it 2 grupas out of 3 grows.
Wow, that's a high rating.
Yeah, I don't play around.
Next week we're gonna do Baby Driver,
which is not about a baby who drives, and I'm still upset.
You didn't like it in Boss Baby.
Boss Baby Driver.
We will be doing Spider-Man at a later date. Our schedules didn't work out. I'm going to be in Connecticut next weekend, so if you're in Connecticut, come on by. But we will do Spider-Man the week after that. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye!
Bye!